on? It's Katie and Mike. Say hi, Mike.
Hi, everybody.
I have acquired Mike's sore throat somehow. I don't even think I don't think I'm sick with the thing that he got. It's just my throat started hurting really bad, like last night, and it has continued to hurt throughout the day. So of course, we went to the late night showing of Avengers: Age of Ultron, and now I get to talk about it with my crappy crap voice. So I think we can do non-spoilers
for a while.
And we'll keep it basic, and then we'll go into spoilers. It's not my favorite, but that doesn't mean it's bad. That's kind of where I'm starting off. It has its issues. It's really long. It's not as well structured as the first Avengers movie. And yeah, there were just elements that I just thought were just okay, and like parts where they could have done better. But at the same time, this is far and above a lot of other movies that we've seen in the last few years, and it's still a good movie. It's still really enjoyable. While we were walking out, I equated it to the comics, where you get a lot of Avengers comics, not just like comic issues, like comic storylines. You get a lot of even comic books. Like Saturday is Free Comic Book Day, and they're doing the all new, all different Avengers, which is arguably a completely different team, made up of the people who are now taking over. Like, we got Ms. Marvel and Kamala Khan. We've got Image is there. That's like the only kind of newbie guy, or not newbie guy. We have Miles Morales as Spider-Man. We have
Vision's
Sam.
in there.
Yeah, I said Vision. Sam Wilson is going to be Cap in that one, and so my point, and we got female Thor. So my point is with this is that you have all these different comics, and just because one isn't your favorite doesn't mean it's necessarily bad. It means that it's very good. It's just not excellent, and that's kind of how I feel about this movie. It's very good, not excellent. What do you think?
I kind of agree with that assessment, but I wouldn't...
You're still trying to take it in, too.
Yeah.
And it was a very busy movie.
It's very busy, but there's a lot of good nuggets in it. It's just that I don't know how...
It came together?
I'm still on the fence with it. I think it's good.
Was it worth the money?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know if it was worth 3D IMAX.
I didn't either. I didn't think the 3D was that good. Like, I actually took off my glasses, my 3D glasses, and, kind of remembered what 2D movies looked like in my brain and put them back on, and there still wasn't that much of a difference. I don't think it was worth it. Now, IMAX without the 3D, maybe, because the scope was good. But honestly, if you see it on a regular 2D screen, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Also, like with IMAX, did you notice that there was kind of an echo from where we were sitting? We were sitting in the far back because it was packed. Obviously, it's the first. It's like
we were there 40 minutes early.
Yeah, we were there relatively early, and we still
we're in the back of the line.
Yeah, I mean, we were I would say 2/3 back.
And the theater we were at, it's
huge.
It's a freaking IMAX, and they didn't give us the posters.
Yeah.
That they gave out at the 6 p.m. showing or whatever.
Yeah, that was really annoying because we saw them there, and then they got pulled, and I was like, well, they'll probably bring them back. They just don't want to leave them out there. No, they just didn't give us any. Luckily, I saw the posters. They weren't that good. Can we get back on the actual movie?
Yes.
So,
I wanted to complain about the posters.
So, it starts off where they basically take out, I'm not saying they take out all of Hydra, but they take out, one of the main Hydra guys. You see him at the end of Winter Soldier. And, yeah, that got taken out quick, but, because they have a run-in with the twins, who, by the way, I know a lot of people who are pissed off at the fact that the two twins, who are Romani in heritage, at least in the comics, and I assume that that applies still to the MCU, but that they agreed to go basically under Nazi experiments. I am on the fence, and honestly, like, because I am not Romani, my opinion on this doesn't really matter. I mean, it really doesn't, because that's a totally different, you know, I don't have you know, a person in that fight. And I think that I would like to hear from people who are of Romani descent and what they feel about it. Or for people who are really fans of these characters, because honestly, I don't know as much about them as other Marvel characters. So, I mean, in some ways, I get why they'd be really annoyed with that, like to the point of being pissed off, because there's a lot of implications there. On the other hand, they, you know, as essentially they get,
It was kind
revealed.
of a weak tie that, oh, it was dark weapons that killed our mother and father.
I wish that they had actually talked to Tony then. Like, there wasn't a lot of connection between Tony and them until, like, way later, and it didn't connect as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think I could have accepted that more. But I didn't mind the fact that, like, they did it because they were desperate and pissed off. And the fact is that I did like the fact that Steve didn't have any, didn't pass judgment on them, because he understands, you know,
Yeah.
like doing something that dangerous for the sake of protecting people and not wanting other people to get hurt and stuff. Oh man, I'm all shaky. We actually had alcohol at this thing, and while I'm completely sobered up, I think like that plus the sleepiness is making me really jittery, you know?
Yeah.
Sorry.
It was all gone by the time the trailers even.
Really? I nursed mine for a while.
Oh no, I finished mine before the trailers.
Well, that's because you drink better than me. Also, I mean, I had two.
Yeah, you did have two.
Yeah, I had one while we were waiting, and then Mike picked me up one right before the movie started. Anyway, so what happened? So Wanda Scarlet Witch messes with Tony's mind, and he has a vision of everyone dying in space and him looking at the wormhole and basically him failing everyone and being left alone in space. So
and invasion forces had to
so all that PTSD that they got explored in Iron Man 3, clearly there's still some stuff there. So that makes him use Loki's staff, which they finally got back with this mission, and he decides to create Ultron, which is clearly not a good idea. But because his mind's messed up, and he's also kind of desperate because the staff is going to be taken back to Asgard in 3 days, so it makes more sense than him just going this sounds like a good idea, doop-de-doo. And then Ultron wakes up and he goes into the human race needs to be destroyed, but also I have dad issues, so I need to kill the Avengers because something. Mostly, I mean, here's the thing. James Spader is really good in this, but even the dialogue for him, not just the dialogue, but the plot does start to drag, and a lot of that is because Ultron is doing stuff.
James Spader and Ultron never felt like they were in control of the situation.
No, and I think it was kind of meant to be that he was always slightly confused, you know?
Yeah.
He is basically a newborn.
I thought he would be a lot more threatening and in control of a lot more, and basically everything was still going to his plan.
I did like the snarkiness, though.
Yeah, his snark was great.
And it makes sense because they clearly hint at basically him being the son of Tony in spirit and motivation and stuff, and part of that is the snarkiness. Also, he has a penchant for that particular Disney movie that they totally hinted at in the trailer.
A little bit.
He sings the song later.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I feel like... Alright, I just feel like... I felt like he was threatening enough, but at the same time, like, the plot just dragged on, and there were elements of it that just didn't make as much sense. And I know it's a superhero movie, but you want to make some sense.
This one was really heavy CGI.
Yeah, that was something that I heard someone say in early reviews, that be careful for that guy.
That's a cop. Just U-turning.
The guy, there was someone that looked like they were swerving. I'm just saying, I just didn't want you to be really careful driving, hun.
I am.
What was I talking about before the cop?
CGI.
Oh yeah, someone's saying that, like, with Vision, who comes in, surprise, Vision comes in. He's in the poster. It's a lot of it is Paul Bettany, who I thought did a really good job. Like, and
yeah,
you like him.
The Vision CGI is actually really well.
And I really like Paul Bettany, and you established his characters throughout a good portion of these movies as Jarvis. And then also because, we just saw Agent Carter. While they're not the same character, he is in spirit, a successor to Jarvis from Agent Carter. So you really like this character. And then he kind of he transforms into an actual hero, which was really, I mean, I'm not going to say really smart, because it happens in the comics, so, like, it's not like this was a totally original idea by the movie makers, but I really like how they established Jarvis early on, like the very first movie, and they allowed him to become a full character, and now he is, like, the nicest android person. And we'll talk about that more. But my point is that with him, the CGI was really good. With Ultron, it always looked like CGI. It was never, and it's really a stark contrast between Vision and Ultron, because maybe it wouldn't have been so bad if Vision wasn't in the movie. Like, it wouldn't have been as noticeable. But once Vision goes in, you're like, oh yeah, he looks like a person. Ultron looks like CGI. Right?
Ultron really, like, I didn't like the way he talked. Like the motion that they animated him talking with. It always looked like the metal was bending.
Maybe. I didn't mind it so much.
And his body always looked like it curved like it flexed unnaturally.
I was always looking at his jaw, which I didn't mind. It was just, but it was like, I was focused on it because I was so interested.
I don't know. I didn't like any of the CGI in Ultron.
So should we talk about who the most human of all of the Avengers, and how he got so much attention in this damn movie?
Yes.
So Clint Barton, if you remember, I'm wearing, by the way, if you can see, I'm wearing my Hawkeye shirt, and Mike is wearing his Hawkeye shirt, which was a good choice, because, like, he had a lot of role in this movie, because I think Whedon felt really bad that they basically turned him into a drone in the first Avengers movie. This one, I think someone, I think it was Rebecca, my friend Rebecca, reviewed this movie, and she said that she wasn't quite sure that Jeremy Renner could handle the Clinty quippiness, which I kind of see, but he does a decent job at it, and he was given enough this time. Yeah,
he was given some really good lines.
There were a few lines, though, where I'm just like, they could have Clinted it up a little bit more. I don't know if you ever saw because I saw the GIF set of this a while ago, but Mike has been avoiding spoilers for this movie for like a month. But I heard the bit where he was like, we have robots, hundreds of robots out there, and I have a bow and arrow. Did you ever see that bit?
No, I didn't.
Yay! I didn't ruin it for you, because I saw that like at least 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I was like, I can't tell Mike about this. I want to show him this. I want to show him this GIF set right now, but I can't, so I won't. Yeah, he's very Clinty in this. Should we talk about the surprise of his character, or is that too spoilery?
Too spoilery.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that, because I have one complaint, and you might know what it is. We'll talk about it. I'm trying to think who else we're missing with this.
Natasha?
Yeah, the Natasha stuff. I understand why people might have a problem with it. There were a few lines and a few moments. I know I thought there was someone online who was really harsh about how they wrote Natasha. I think maybe unfoundedly harsh, but they said she's reduced to a boob joke. And I'm like, and I was trying to figure out as I'm watching, like, what's the boob? And then I realized that when Ultron attacks and she pulls Bruce to safety around the bar, he basically accidentally goes face first into her cleavage. One, it's a very short moment, and two, well enough, the immediate thing he said was sorry. And it felt like more of an awkward moment and not a ho 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 boobs, you know?
Honk honk.
I felt like that wasn't that bad. There were a couple of things later on that I could actually see when people were talking about why. I know that the thing about Joss Whedon is that he's really well known for writing women. However, he also gets a decent amount of criticism for writing women in very specific ways and like falling back on tropes. And I think they kind of did some of that.
I can agree with that.
And I think, and it's another thing we might have to save for spoilers, so remind me to mention that, okay?
I will go Barton and Natasha.
And so but the love, because I don't think this is a spoiler because it was in all the trailers. The relationship between Natasha and Bruce, I thought was generally pretty well done. It takes some leaps and bounds because she's already like, no, I'm interested in you. Like, that's pretty, like, she jumps right in there. But at the same time, you get the sense that they've been working together for a long time because part of what, she does actually a lot. Anybody who says like, oh, she's just there, she's useless. She does so many things in this movie. She really, really does. You can't say that she's not doing stuff in this movie because she is one of the key players. They give her so much to do. We still need more women on the team, and it's getting to the point where I'm like, you can't have 2 women on the team all the time. It has to be more than that. You have to have more than 2 women. Don't Smurfette / Daphne and Velma this. Get more, like, I know Carol's coming, but get even more women on the team.
Hey, a good parking spot.
Yay! I'm trying to think if there's any other non-spoiler things. Like I said, the twins were okay. Actually, Wanda got way more lines than I expected because she had no lines in the trailer, and I know a lot of people were like, is this going to be like Firefly, where the girl with psychic powers is like silent and like mentally damaged and stuff? Or are they going to actually give her stuff to do? And I will say she had a lot of lines in this.
Yeah, she had a lot more stuff than I expected to give her.
And I don't know, I think
we can talk about them more in spoilers, though.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think if there's anything non-spoilery. There's a lot of jokes, like a lot of jokes. A lot of character interaction stuff.
Besides a few quick, segments of time, most of the Avengers are pretty much together the entire movie.
Yeah, there are a few parts where they're split up, but they're doing stuff together, and there's a lot of character stuff. The party is fun. They have a big party, and it's very much like, again, you get to enjoy the characters being the characters, which is, I think, one of the fun things about these, especially about Avengers. Everything I know about the comics, and granted, I always feel like I'm catching up on the comics because it's decades of comics, but they're very much, between them and the Justice League, really, they're a group of people who are very friendly co-workers / actual friends. So there is a lot of friendly interaction, even with all the, messed up damage, damage to relationships and close calls and, the deaths and everything. So, if you're making a movie about a team of superheroes and you don't have them showing how they're friends and how they're interacting in ways that people would interact with the people that they spend a lot of their lives with, why make the movie? So yeah. That was good.
And the other thing in the Avengers movies you want to see is them teaming up and fighting together and combo moves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we saw a bunch of those in this movie. A lot.
Yeah, so much.
The opening scene is that fight against Baron Strucker and his castle up in, they said Scandinavia, I think.
It was it was the country that the twins were from.
I know, but
it's not Scandinavia, but it's like another Eastern European.
It's Eastern European something. They said they gave it a fake country name.
Yeah.
But,
so, and speaking of, also there was the Black Panther.
Wakanda in there.
Yeah. Now, he doesn't show up. I mean, I don't think that's a spoiler. That's just me saying he doesn't show up. But one of his nemesis does, and they actually bring up the name of the country, and they bring up the fact that it's vibranium, right?
Yeah.
It still is. Oh yeah, because it's not adamantium anymore because something they can't use X-Men.
Can't use X-Men stuff, so it's vibranium.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Maria Hill was sorely underused. They keep underusing her immensely.
She got less than she did in Captain America, but early on, the first third of this movie, she was in quite a bit.
Yeah, but I just feel like
she got more than she did in Avengers.
Yeah, maybe.
And she was out of the fight then pretty much the rest of the movie.
Yeah. They need to. This is why you can't just have Natasha. I like Natasha. I actually like a lot of what they've done with Natasha. So this isn't me saying like, oh, I don't like Black Widow. No, I like Black Widow. We need more. Even with Scarlet Witch, we need more. We need more than Scarlet Witch and Black Widow and even Captain Marvel. We need more women. Seriously. I say this as if anybody at Marvel is watching this video. Maybe it will send through the internet like Ultron or something. Yeah. Apparently Ultron can be sent through the I don't know. This was a movie. It was here again. There was a convoluted plot, which again, I know superhero movies. And I feel like it's not going to be my favorite. I still feel like Winter Soldier is my favorite just because so much of it was so well done. Even with the Hydra stuff, which I admit is like the weaker part of Captain America. But everything else I love about that movie. By the way, Sam Wilson shows up. Again, it's not a spoiler because everybody knows it because he was on the cast list and stuff. So it's not that bad.
He didn't get much.
He didn't get much, but they totally set up Civil War.
Yeah. Because
it's clearly, I have a feeling it's got to be about Bucky. That's what they're looking for. That's who they're looking for. It's going to be about Bucky. He shows up. Should we say where else he shows up?
That's spoiler time.
Spoiler. Are there any other things we should say? I mean, if you like the movies at all, go to see this movie. If you haven't seen any of the other movies, I don't know, watch those movies first, figure out if you want to see it. But if you've watched any of the other movies, if you like the characters...
everyone's waiting for us to get the spoilers.
Yeah, let's just get the spoilers. But go see the movie. All right, spoilers. So, God, there's so many spoilers. No, let's go with the first one. Let's go with the one that I still cannot believe they did.
Go.
We have Clint. We find out that he has a family. He actually has a family on that farm that he lives on because we saw the farm.
Wife and two kids.
Wife and two kids with another one on the way. Who, by the way, is played by... Gonna find it. Gosh darn it. The cast list
is too small.
The cast list is too big. Let me look.
Anyway,
here.
Wife, two kids on the way.
Linda Cardellini is the name of the actress. Full cast. But yeah, so he lives on this farm. And if anybody knows anything about the Hawkeye comic, one of the things that is delightful about it is that in the comic, he has a dog who likes pizza, whose official name is Lucky, but whose unofficial name is Pizza Dog. He's kind of a fan favorite. They didn't give him a dog in this movie. It's so easy. They didn't have to CGI a damn thing. Just pick up a golden retriever from one of the trainers of the many that I'm sure are in Hollywood, and just put the dog in the movie. Have them eat pizza. Have him, like, put the pizza in the... I don't ask for fan service very often, but this was so easy.
You went so far, but you didn't
go far enough. Why? Why did you do this to me? Have you not read the comics? Because this was like, I don't even care about Hulkbuster. Like, oh yeah, sure they fought, but that's not fan service to me. Fan service is giving Clint Barton motherfucking golden retriever and making him feed him pizza.
He really should have had a dog. So oddly enough, they made Clint married and had a kid, and he's the I'm too old for this, I'm the human guy sort of thing, and he's sort of like, in a way, towards the end, even like he's giving the mentorship role to the twins at the end after they cross over.
Yeah,
I'm sure if you're at this part, you've already seen the movie. You already know. Yeah. But
where the heck is her?
I don't know if I like Barton in that role. It's odd to me to see him
by the way,
I'm too old for this guy.
By the way, Linda Cardellini's character is Laura Barton, so they're not going with... Now, granted, like, who's his wife in the comics? Oh, right, it's Mockingbird, who's kind of busy being on S.H.I.E.L.D. and not being married to Clint Barton.
And in a relationship
with someone else, yeah, kind of. So, I didn't mind it. It did end up passing the Bechdel test.
Thanks to her.
Which is weird, because technically we got Maria Hill, we got Scarlet Witch, we got Black Widow, and I don't think they talked to each other once in this movie. They don't have a conversation. But then the one nice thing, though, which I thought was really smart, because there was all this talk about, oh, Black Widow, and, like, she's not being with Clint anymore. It's like, well, no, actually, he's married, and she and Nat are friends, which is great. Like, this is the kind of stuff that I actually like, when, like, oh, you mean that you can be friends with a man and also, like, really good friends with his wife, and there's no jealousy or, like, love triangle stuff? Oh, this is exactly the stuff I do like. So they do beat the Bechdel test. I will say, technically, if you can't, because she's pregnant. Clint's wife is pregnant, and she does tell a now disappointed Natasha that the baby's name will not be Natasha, it has to be Nathaniel because it's a boy, and that's when Natasha goes, you traitor, which was a cute moment. I actually like that moment. So technically, they do talk about a male character in this, if you count an unborn child as I don't know. I don't count it. I count it as the Bechdel test is passed. So that's me. Hooray. But it's sad that is the way it passes, and only like by the hair, just barely. So no, I didn't mind that. It just was surprising because I knew that she was going to be in it, but I had no clue who she was playing, so that the fact that they gave her like a completely different character is kind of surprising to me.
So since we're on the topic of Natasha, let's talk about her story.
Yeah, I like the Bruce Natasha dynamic, and I love the fact that they showed the Red Room. That was great. Like, I was really, really glad about that. The problem is, and I don't think this is in the comics, and it's kind of, I don't want to say problematic, because problematic is a word that people throw around a lot, but they made a big deal about her basically being sterile. And then they implied that she's a monster because she's sterile. I don't think they meant to, but, like, there was that speech.
It's the speech. The speech is just a little bit off. I believe they intended it to be like, oh, I'm a monster because
I've killed people.
I was trained by the USSR super secret S.H.I.E.L.D. organization that was counter you guys, and they trained me to be a killer and a monster, and I graduated.
Yeah, but the way that it was, like, the way that whole talk was set up doesn't work, because it totally implied that her
sterileness
is why. It was badly, it could have been, it needed another edit. And that's the other thing. Like, I actually liked, and I said this before the movie came out, like when the first trailer came out, when they were hinting at the idea of Natasha and Bruce having a thing, that the fact that they both see themselves as monsters is like a connection that they have, that they both feel that they have a lot of sins to atone for, that they don't trust themselves enough, and that they
Also, this, I'm gonna point it out, this was the best they've done Bruce.
Yeah, no, Bruce was really good in this. Both the Hulk and Bruce were really, really good in this. But I liked that. But then they took that trope of like the heroes seeing themselves as monsters and applied it to all of the Avengers.
Yeah.
Every single one. It became a thing for all of them. And I'm like, no, it worked better when it was just these two. But apparently, no, Tony thinks he's a monster. And everybody else thinks they're monsters. And something. And it was really
Thor's
annoying.
questioning everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, they were building to...
Also, apparently Loki was there. I did not see him in the vision or whatever that Thor
Loki's
had.
in the Thor vision?
Apparently, because he was in the credits of IMDb.
Okay.
I heard he was supposed to be in it, which is why I was...
didn't notice him in there. We'll have to look again.
Yeah. Heimdall is there, though.
I know Heimdall's
Yeah.
there.
And then I was going to say Haley Atwell showed up, which I kind of knew.
I gotta believe all this stuff is building up Thor Ragnarok. And
that and the Infinity Stone. Or the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, that too, but I mean... It looked like everything that Thor saw was... I think that was building up Ragnarok.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. And then we have Vision being the one to pick up the hammer, because they totally set up someone being able to pick it up. And god damn it, I wanted it to be Natasha. We talked about this on the podcast.
Like I told you, I don't think it can be Natasha in this one, because they still want to use her as plot narrative and, character focus and growth.
I don't think they're ever going to do it, because they already did it once with Vision.
Comics?
With Vision.
With Vision?
Yeah. So...
It's possible, but it's a clean way to give her redemption story arc.
Yeah, maybe.
So I think it's going to come in what's the Infinity
Civil
Wars.
War? Oh, okay. Everything, I mean, honestly, it was still good. I liked a lot of bits and parts. I don't think as a whole it worked quite well. Oh, should we talk about the death?
Yeah, let's talk about the death.
So I was thinking, I was prepared for Clint to die, because they kept setting it up. Like, they had the voiceover of, I think it was either Tony or Steve going I don't think we're all going to make this, as Clint is looking at the picture of his family. I'm like, could you be more obvious? Which made me think, okay, they're being really obvious, so that means that they're not going to do it. Or they're just doing it so that we absolutely know that it's going to happen, so you can't yell at the filmmakers for not setting it up. I actually thought, so the actual person who died is saving Clint and a little boy at the end, and it is Quicksilver, the guy who got the least amount of anything in this damn movie. I'm glad it is not Scarlet Witch or the Asian woman who barely got any... Who is, by the way, a comic character. Apparently she is in the comics. But she also got kind of...
Gypped.
That's not a nice word to use, especially considering the characters we're talking about.
Okay, let's not use that word then.
But they got the Asian woman in this got really screwed over as far as getting to do anything. She got to do two things. She got
worse than Bartonized in the first Avengers.
Yeah, I would argue that, because she barely got to do anything in the last part of it. What were we talking about?
Selvig in the first... No, Selvig was there even at the end.
Yeah, but he didn't get to do much either. So, okay. So,
Also, Selvig keeps coming up in these movies. I think he's just happy to agree to anything, and he's like, oh, you're going to give me a few thousand? Okay, I'll do this movie.
Basically.
I think he's happy to be in any of them.
So Quicksilver dies, and Scarlet Witch is freaking out. That's when she's screaming in the trailers that you see. She does get to have, one of the best... I was really mad. I was hoping that she'd have the final Ultron
blow.
But she did get to have, like, one of the main ones, right? She got to have the one...
She destroyed his primary body.
Okay. Yeah, because she had that good moment where she was just, like, basically,
That was his vibranium body, so...
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, that was a badass moment. And I will say, like, now granted, like, a lot of it's CGI, so people are like, well, she was just shooting stuff. And
I think a lot of that moment, though, is sort of lost a bit, like... Because she's not the last one.
Yeah.
But she does kill the hardest to kill one.
Yeah, they didn't make that quite clear, which is that's kind of the problem of this movie. That is a problem.
And it's not very clear that that's his vibranium body either.
Yeah, because it's like they're like, oh, you look bigger, and it's like, not really. You look about the same. But no,
You're still made of really, really shiny metal that is totally CGI.
But anyway, I did feel like it was kind of... I know that they wanted to kill someone off to make the stakes higher, blah, 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 and like, oh, not all of them would make it out, okay. But it was still kind of annoying that they did it with a character that was this little developed. It just... And I know they have to save the rest of them for other movies, including Clint, because Clint's going to be in Civil War. I would actually argue he's probably safe for the rest of these movies because this whole movie, the good portion of it was like, will Clint die? And now that he's survived, I don't think they're going to actually kill him off.
I don't think they're going to kill him off, but I do think they've built up enough reason to give him Kate Bishop.
I know, but that I'm not even holding out hope. If we can't even get damn Pizza Dog, how are we going to get Kate Bishop? I don't know.
Maybe Joss Whedon really just hates Hawkeye. Maybe that's it, and he wants to toy with Hawkeye fans.
Yeah. So anyway, Quicksilver dies, which again, I just feel like there's so many things they could have done, and it feels like kind of a cop-out. I think that's the most disappointing aspect of the movie. I just felt like they need new blood, and the little bit that we saw of the twins together was kind of interesting. And we didn't get to see a lot of it, and I don't know, it feels like a really crappy way to raise the stakes. Because at least with Coulson, like, you knew Coulson.
You were attached to Coulson.
He got to have some, I mean, I get it, Quicksilver, like, died a hero, blah, 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 blah. But we don't really know anything about him. At least with Coulson, you got to know his personality and stuff before he died. I don't know. I felt like a weak way to build the stakes towards the very, very end of the movie. Yeah, it was okay. Like I said, it was okay. I will say this much, because I know that Wanda and Vision get together in the comics. So every time they had a moment together, I was just kind of like, I'm kind of digging this. Like, I love the idea that, like, I don't know. I really like. I like the idea of them maybe setting something up with those two.
It's possible, but they didn't... the hints were subtle, because really it's Vision grabs her a couple times.
Yeah. Oh, well, should we talk about the fact that... Did we talk about the fact that Vision is the one that grabs the hammer?
Yeah, Vision picks up the hammer.
Which makes sense, because he's supposed to be, like, basically Jesus.
Yeah, he's some kind of...
like...
savior symbol.
When one of the stones is embedded in his brain, and so he has all the good parts of Jarvis, and is also technically a godlike creature. I don't know what he's like in the comics, to be quite honest. Like I said, I like Paul Bettany in the role enough, and I feel like they've established him enough that he was very successful, and I'm excited to see where they go with it. I just wish that they didn't have to kill off, like, I'm not even a fan of Quicksilver in the comics, because I'm not as big into the X-Men comics as other people, but I feel like they really did give him a bad rap in this.
Yeah, and also, I think Tony does need an AI to play off of, and towards the end, without him having Jarvis to equip with, it was a weaker role for him.
Yeah. They had a female AI character, and I was just like, oh, I miss Jarvis. Even though Jarvis is technically here.
Still here. But they either didn't write enough for that AI, or something was really off with that relationship. They need to do better with the new movies.
Yeah. So
I don't know if they're going to build a new Jarvis or if it's going to be some kind of new AI that they build.
Yeah. So I don't have anything else to say, I think. I'm so wiped out. I'm going to crash in bed right after this because I got work in the morning.
I kind of like Banner going away.
No, that was smart. And you thought that you thought he was going into space.
I thought he was going into space.
But you did predict that he was going to be leaving
and going out into isolation.
Yeah. I also like the fact that was the other thing. Because all right, around the time of the first Avengers, what is her real name? You know, Ginger Hayes or Ginger Hazing on Twitter. Noelle Stevenson. She's done a ton of stuff. She drew the Thor annual, but she's also the writer for Lumberjanes and stuff. But she had a thing. One of the ways that her fan art got really popular when the first Avengers came out was Hulk carrying mostly Clint, but also Natasha everywhere. So the bit where Natasha is like riding on his back and climbing, I smiled for her because that was like her favorite thing was like Hulk carrying the completely human Avengers around on his back. I like the fact that she has a lot to do in this movie. Like I said,
she has a lot, but they just sort of flesh out her story. This is really a middling sort of movie, and it's like whereas Empire Strikes Back really sort of raised the stakes and brought everyone in the Star Wars universe, like they sort of tore them apart, broke them down, and sort of just beat them up. This doesn't feel like that. Like, I was really expecting more of that, and I didn't get that out of this.
I feel like they keep waiting for, like, the really dark stuff in Civil War and in Infinity Gauntlet, you know?
Yeah, it was
This was still dark, and there was still some questioning, but honestly, I felt like they could do better. I'm about to crash, but can I just say, I did love the fact, I don't know... Here's the thing. When Fury came in the middle, and then he was like, I'm going to leave for a while, but I'm going to come back later with, like, something big. He was basically saying that directly to the audience. All I could think of was, this is like in Furious 7, when The Rock just decided to come out with a machine gun. That's what's going to happen in this. And sure enough, what happens? Oh, right.
Fury's got the helicarrier.
The helicarrier's back with like 10 people working on it, including the guy from the
Captain's Orders.
The guy from
Who got more lines.
He did get more lines, hooray! But the guy from Winter Soldier who refuses to listen to Hydra, and he says, nope, I'm not going to fire those Captain's Orders. So they brought him back. He survived both movies. Why Agent 13 wasn't there, I'll never understand. I was like, wait, we can't show her in the back? She can't. What the? Aww.
I don't know what happened to her. She's gone underground.
Somewhere.
Something. We don't know.
Because apparently you can't have more than like 4 women
in a movie.
So it was good. You'll like it. If you like the MCU, you'll like it. I feel like people are going like, oh, it's not as good as... At least understand that your frame of reference are that there have been...
The rest of the Marvel movies that have been really excellent.
Yeah.
There's been really excellent ones, and this one isn't an excellent one, but it's still really good. It's still
enjoyable.
It's still better than Iron Man 2, which is sort of like that another one of those middling ones. It's still better than... what's another middling one?
You know, I still like Thor 2, but I understand why people don't.
Yeah. Thor 2 is another one that's sort of...
It's better than Incredible Hulk, which we just saw.
Incredible Hulk is probably like the worst one in the entire series.
Yeah, and that's still not like the worst movie I've ever seen. So
yeah, it's still good.
So, we're really tired. I gotta go to sleep.
You have work tomorrow.
I have work tomorrow. This is what I do for you people. I go to movies on nights when I really, really shouldn't be out. So...
But what else do we have to talk about? Is there anything we can think of?
I don't know. Infinity Gauntlet is coming, blah, 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 which makes me a little worried for Vision because that thing is stuck in his head.
Yeah, I'm thinking the gem's going to get ripped out of his head because you have to have Thanos build the hand or the gauntlet. He has to... I think if you have to have Thanos build the gauntlet, he has to have it. So I think you have to make him a real threat. You have to have the full gauntlet.
I do love the fact that the credit sequence was like, I guess I'm doing this myself. I had to wait like 4 movies, and you guys still haven't helped me out. So okay, gotta
Also,
put on the glove.
This one wasn't really nearly as well balanced as the first Avengers, and
It wasn't as tight.
I'm kind of on the fence of saying maybe it is good that Joss Whedon is leaving.
I feel like they need new blood, and I don't know.
I think the Russos are doing a fabulous job with Captain America 2, and they balanced these characters, and they developed them, and they built story around them, and they built a really tight movie. Hopefully they can do it again with part 3s and, both part 3s.
Yeah. So, oh my gosh, you can tell I'm fading away. I'm so tired. So, no, it was still, like, I feel like we're critical of the movie because it wasn't perfect.
It has flaws.
It does have flaws.
We're poking away at flaws and trying to justify why we are a little bit uneasy with it. But
I want to see the new. I feel like it ended with.
I think it's one of those movies though you're gonna have to watch a couple times to really see some things that you like in it more.
And I mean, it ended with them basically not completely
Let's talk
going
about the ending.
Can we then go to bed? Because
Yes.
I'm so tired.
That's the ending.
So it ends. First of all, we actually got to see War Machine fight in the.
War
that was
Machine
good.
came in.
I wanted him to be like, wait, who's that guy in the red? Oh, that's Jarvis. He's now a full
Large humanoid thing.
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
He has a like galactically powered stone in his head, and he's technically a god? ? So because there's always been this implication that like Pepper and Rhodey.
Vision is sort of the Ozymandias, or no, not
No.
Watchman, blue guy.
Oh, Manhattan.
Yeah, Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, I'd say so, except a little more empathetic and
Yeah.
And I don't know, I liked his character a lot, and I liked his character before, and so yeah, I like that a lot. I'm gonna keep talking about how Vision. I have a lot of hope for
But
Vision.
they built a new Avengers team.
Yeah, they set it up so that like you see Sam, you see Warhammer. So oh my God, 2 black people.
Machine.
War Machine. What did I say? Warhammer.
Warhammer.
I'm really tired. You don't see Quicksilver because he's dead.
You get Scarlet Witch.
So you see Scarlet Witch and you see Vision. I think those are the 4. And Natasha's back there, and Steve goes, Avengers! And then they don't let you say it, because apparently we're never going to get to actually hear the phrase.
Joss Whedon is such a tease.
Basically. He's a jerk. So, I mean, really what we're waiting for is Black Panther and Captain Marvel, and we aren't going to get that for a little while because of frickin' Peter Parker's stupid white pasty-ass face.
The next movie is, what? Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
What are we followed up by?
Civil War?
Civil War?
That's not even going to be... That's just now starting filming.
Yeah.
Is that really the next one?
Ant-Man, then Civil War?
I guess. I
And
can't remember.
And then it's followed by...
Ragnarok,
and then it's...
Spider-Man.
and then it's...
Then it's Black Panther, and then
it's Captain Marvel.
No, I think Guardians is somewhere in the middle there, too.
Guardians 2, and then Captain Marvel, and then it's...
Basically, we're not getting Carol Danvers fast enough.
Yeah, we're not getting these characters fast enough.
We need more women. Bring me more women on these teams. I'm tired of the Smurfette BS. I'm tired of them not...
Because they built Clint as this sort of guy that's getting too old for this, and they didn't bring in Kate at the end, which I kind of expected them to do.
Civil War, maybe?
Maybe through Civil War. Maybe the Russo brothers can pull it off, because apparently Joss Whedon wasn't up to writing anything for Hawkeye that wasn't, I'm getting too old for this.
I feel like
I've got a family.
I did like the whole. Okay, so I have a plan. So I'm gonna make the kitchen. I'm gonna do the kitchen first. I like that little moment. That was a cute moment. All right, I
We
think
get to have nice, fun talks.
I'm ready for that. So go see the movie. You'll know you want to, or go.
Here at this point,
You probably already seen it. So Katie and Mike.
send
What? Oh my God! Let's just go to bed. Katie, Mike, justplain70.com, and we'll see you later.